Imagine waking up to bare shelves. No warning, no chaos, just absence. While you were scrolling, doubting, maybe waiting for a better time, the few people who act early, they already filled their bags. They already grabbed what matters most. And when you finally say, okay, I'm ready, it's already too late. This isn't about panic. It's about seeing the pattern before the panic starts. In this breakdown, look, we're not here to tell you what to buy. This isn't pressure. This is preparation. Because in this video, I'm going to show you 8 survival items that vanish the moment hesitation shows up. The kind of tools that disappear in the first wave while everyone else is still checking prices or scrolling reviews. If you're the kind of person who trusts instinct before headlines, hit that subscribe button right now. Because while others are debating, the ones who prepare, they move. Number 1. Candles. Unscented, long, burn. Most people look at candles and think of birthday cakes, mood lighting, or blackout backup for a few hours. But in a real collapse, candles become currency. Light is power. Light is safe. And when the grid's gone, when fuel dries up, when flashlights burn out, that small, quiet flame becomes your edge. You don't realize it now, but collapse isn't pitch black. Only at night it's pitch black inside. Underground basements, windowless rooms, interior bathrooms, sub-level parking garages. These places go full dark the moment power drops. And without light, you're fumbling, vulnerable, useless. Now imagine having a simple candle in your kit clean, quiet, smokeless. You light it, you reclaim control. Forget scented decorative ones. You want unscented, long-burn, emergency-grade candles. Why? Because scent travels, and in a desperate city blackout, the smell of vanilla or lavender might invite the kind of attention you can't afford. Unscented means stealth. It also means less residue and fewer respiratory issues when burning indoors. Candles work when batteries don't. They work when fuel is gone. They don't need a crank, a wire, or a signal. You just light the man, they hold the room. For hours. I've used long-burn emergency candles that give off consistent flame for 8 to 10 hours straight. One flame can light an entire small shelter, give enough visibility to treat wounds, cook safely, or keep morale stable in a panicked group, and don't overlook their barter value. When everyone else is burning junk paper and cheap lighters, a clean-burning candle becomes trade gold. You show up in a dark hallway with a 3-pack of long burns. You don't just get respect, you get negotiation power, warmth, vision, comfort. These are hard to find when the world shuts off. Personally, I keep 2 types. Small tea light packs for portable use and large cylindrical emergency candles for base camp or indoor operations. Stored in sealed tins with matches and windproof lighters next to them. They weigh nothing. It costs little. But when needed, they deliver pure control in absolute darkness. So ask yourself, how long will your flashlight really last? Are you counting on one power bank and hope? Because when the batteries die and the sun goes down, the guy with the candle doesn't just survive, he sees everything you can't. Number 2, stove, top gas lighter. Most people have seen one in their kitchen. A metal rod, a plastic handle, and that clicking spark sound. It's simple, cheap, and forgettable until collapse hits. Because when everything stops working, your butane's empty, your matches are soaked, and your power's long gone, this tiny tool becomes survival gold. The stovetop gas lighter, especially the piezoelectric kind, doesn't rely on fuel. It doesn't need batteries. It doesn't care if the grid is up or down. You press the trigger, and it generates a spark, clean, silent, and instant. That spark can light dry twigs, stove burners, alcohol fuel, or even a cotton ball soaked in oil. It's not flashy. It's not tactical. But it just works. And here's the kicker. Most people already own one. It's sitting in a kitchen drawer, ignored. But in a blackout, when lighters fail and matches vanish off shelves, the guy with a piezo lighter still has fire. You can strike it hundreds, sometimes thousands of times before it wears out. No smell, no risk of leaking gas, no fiddling with flints or fluid. Just one tool, ready every single time. I've seen preppers rely on magnesium rods or ferro sticks, and they're great if you've practiced. But the piezo lighter, it needs no skill. A child could use it. That makes it perfect for families, group survival scenarios, and even barter. Hand someone a tool that creates spark in seconds with zero risk, and watch how quickly they'll trade gear to get one. I keep one in my main bag, another in my camp kit, and 2 stashed near my backup stove and fire kit. They weigh almost nothing, and I've tested mine in rain, mud, and wind. It still sparked, still lit dry leaves, still gave me that tiny flash of control when everything else felt out of reach. So ask yourself, are you trusting tools that need fuel, batteries, perfect technique? Or do you have something so simple, so durable it can't fail you when you need it most? Because in a collapse, the loudest guy with the biggest gear doesn't survive. The quiet spark that never quits? That's the one that keeps the fire burning. Number 3, wet wipes. Clean hands, clean face, clean gear. In normal life, wet wipes are convenient. In collapse, they're hygiene, dignity, and defense packed in plastic. Most people overlook them. They think soap and water will always be around. But when the taps stop, the pressure drops, and you're rationing every ounce. Wet wipes become your silent survival partner. Let's get real. Collapse doesn't just bring danger. It brings filth. Trash piles up. Toilets stop flushing. You're sweating through layers, working with your hands, handling gear, food, and wounds. You won't always have the luxury of a hot shower or running water. But one pack of fragrance-free wet wipes, that gives you the edge. Fragrance-free matters. Scented wipes might feel fresh, but they leave a trail. In collapse, smell travels. You clean up, but now every desperate person nearby knows you've got supplies. Unscented wipes keep you clean and stealthy. No flare, no signal, no risk. They're more than just body care. Wipe down tools, cooking surfaces, water containers, clean a wound before bandaging. Refresh after hours in dust or grime. And the mental boost? Massive. When everyone else is sticky, stinking, and breaking down, a single wipe across the face can reset your headspace. It's a small comfort, but it matters when stress is breaking everyone else. I keep them vacuum sealed in every major kit. Home bin, go bag, vehicle, secondary stash. Why? Because you don't notice how dirty survival gets until it's too late. And the guy who smells like a trash fire? He's not just uncomfortable. He's vulnerable. Infection spreads faster in collapse than any riot. One missed wipe-on cut you didn't clean can turn a minor scrape into a life-threatening problem. They're light, cheap, easy to stack, and yet they disappear from shelves the moment panic starts. First aid aisle? Cleared. Baby section? Gone. Because every smart prepper knows. When water fails, wipes take over. Ask yourself, do you even have a pack in your kit? Have you tested how long you can go without running water and still feel functional? Because in collapse, it's not just about bullets and beans. It's about staying clean enough to keep fighting. Number 4. Insulated stainless steel food jar. You might have seen one in someone's lunch bag or at a picnic, but in a real collapse, that same stainless steel food jar becomes a tool of survival. Because when power's gone, cooking gets risky, and keeping food warm is impossible. An insulated food jar becomes your mobile kitchen, your portable fridge, and even your defensive ration shield. Let's break it down. A high-quality, vacuum-sealed stainless steel jar can keep food hot for 10-12 hours, and cold for even longer. That means you don't have to heat up your meal every time. You don't have to cook out in the open, releasing scents that tell everyone you've got food. You cook once, store the heat, and eat later quietly, safely, and without drawing attention. Collapse doesn't mean 3 meals a day. It means strategic consumption. You boil some rice at dawn, seal it inside your jar, and by nightfall it's still warm, still safe, still comforting. Or in summer, you store cool water or fruits inside to prevent spoilage. It's not just a thermos, it's thermal control, and that means power when the grid is gone. The real value? It protects calories. In a world where food becomes gold, you can't afford to lose heat, spoil freshness, or waste a single bite. I've seen preppers ration soup in jars like this: one jar, 1 day's survival. Simple, portable, and ready. And let's talk defense. Yes, defense. You think someone's gonna snatch your meal while it's still boiling hot? Or spoil it while it's in a sealed metal jar? Not likely. And if you need to bug out fast, it fits in your pack, doesn't leak, doesn't break, and keeps your energy intact for the next move. I carry one in every serious kit. Preheated before departure. Filled and sealed. And when the rest of the camp's chewing cold rations or drinking warm algae-tainted water, that one moment of warmth, that one hot spoonful of actual food, it resets everything. So ask yourself, in a real collapse, how will you protect your food? Not store it, not stash it. Protect it from time, from temperature, from loss. Because the guy with the food jar doesn't just eat. He eats smart. He eats safely. He eats when no one else can. Number 5. Nail clippers. It sounds basic. It sounds boring. But when collapse hits, nail clippers become a frontline defense against infection, injury, and immobilization. Most people stock ammo, rice, and water filters. But no one thinks about the quiet threat building at their fingertips: cracked nails, torn skin, embedded grime. And once those things turn into infection, you're not bugging out. You're not fighting back. You're lying down, feverish, and vulnerable. Your nails grow. Collapse doesn't stop that. And in a world without daily hygiene, The risk isn't just discomfort, it's open wounds. Jagged nails, ripped gloves, they scratch your skin raw. They collect bacteria from every surface you touch, and the moment you rub your eyes, touch a cut, or prep food without cleaning, you've invited collapse inside your body. That's where one small stainless steel tool flips the game. A sharp, reliable pair of nail clippers keeps you clean, functional, and pain-free. It lets you manage your hygiene in silence, no water, no soap, no fancy routine, just quiet grooming that stops infection before it starts. I've seen it in group scenarios. One guy has clippers. He shares. Suddenly, that guy's not just useful, he's in demand. People trade for that tool. Why? Because when you've got dirt caked under your nails, blood dried from dressing wounds, and no sink in sight, the guy with the clippers is offering more than comfort. He's offering control. I carry 2 in every kit. 1 in my bag, 1 vacuum sealed in my hygiene cache. They weigh nothing. They break nothing. And they deliver absolute peace of mind. In cold weather, nails get brittle. In dry zones, dirt builds fast. On long marches, that toenail that went uncut, it turns into a limp, a blister, a break. Suddenly you're slower, you're exposed. You're the weak link. And collapse punishes the weak link. People talk about staying clean, staying smart, staying mobile. But that all starts with the body. And the body breaks down fast when hygiene breaks down. So ask yourself, in your bug-out kit, your EDC, your long-term preps, do you even have 1 set of clippers? Because in a world where infection spreads faster than food, the guy with the clean hands doesn't just stay healthy, he stays in the fight. Number 6, siphon pump. Most people don't even know what a siphon pump is until they desperately need one. It's not tactical, it's not flashy. But when collapse hits and you need to move fuel, water, or any critical liquid from one place to another, this silent, hand-powered tool becomes the difference between just surviving and staying fully operational. A siphon pump is simple: a hose, a valve, and gravity. No batteries. No fuel. Just suction and flow. You drop one end in the source, pump a few times, and liquid starts moving on its own. That's it. But the real magic? It gives you control over liquid resources when everything else has failed. Let's talk about fuel. Collapse means no stations, no pumps, no deliveries. You come across an abandoned vehicle, a broken-down generator, or a stash of stored gas in someone's garage. Without a siphon pump, it's locked away. You're stuck watching opportunity rot in a metal tank. But with this one tool, you extract every usable drop, cleanly and safely. Now let's flip it water. Maybe you've got barrels, buckets, or rain tanks. But they're heavy. You're not tipping over 30 gallons to fill a bottle. You're not wasting precious water trying to scoop it out. You want precision. You want quiet. You want zero waste. A siphon pump gives you that. No spills, no noise. Just clean the transfer from your source to your bottle, pot, or purifier. It doesn't stop there. Oils, coolants, even waste liquids, they all need movement, control, and containment. And while others are lifting heavy drums, spilling precious supplies, or getting contaminated, the guy with the siphon pump, he's moving clean. He's moving fast. In my own gear, I keep 2. 1 large, heavy-duty pump for fuel and water transfer at home, and 1 compact, lightweight version in my bug-out kit. Both tested, both used in field drills. I've pulled gas from vehicles in blackout tests. I've drained rain barrels into filter bags with no loss, and I've bartered pump access for favors, firewood, and canned food. Why? Because everyone underestimates liquids until they need to move them and realize they can't. And here's the real kicker. These things are dirt cheap, lightweight, durable. And when collapse hits, they vanish in minutes. Every mechanic, farmer, and prepper within 10 miles will be hunting for one. So let me ask you, do you plan to move liquid with hope? Because in collapse, the guy with the siphon doesn't just take what he finds. He takes it clean, he takes it fast, and he doesn't spill a drop. Number 7, ratchet straps. Most people walk past them in hardware stores, thinking they're only for trucks or moving day. But when collapse hits, ratchet straps become your silent mechanical muscle. They don't just hold things down, they hold your entire plan together. Think about what collapse really means. You're moving gear. You're fortifying shelters. You're hauling supplies over broken roads, makeshift bridges, through woods, over fences. Rope can slip, duct tape rips, Knots fail under pressure, but a heavy-duty ratchet strap? That holds. Every time. Let's break it down. Ratchet straps give you mechanical tension, not just grip. That means once you lock it, it doesn't shift, stretch, or slide. You can strap down barrels, secure tarps, bundle wood, mount gear, even reinforce doors or gates. When high winds tear through your camp or your bug-out vehicle hits terrain that shreds your plan, these straps keep everything together. I've seen them used to lash together broken crates, turn a tarp into a windproof shelter, and even secure a stretcher for evac. You don't think about it now, but when you're loading your last stash of food onto a trailer and praying it doesn't fall out on a rough trail, that ratchet strap is what stands between you and disaster. And let's talk restraint. Not in the tactical sense, in the safety sense. Need to immobilize a broken limb, secure a panicked person, or block a door from forced entry? These straps wrap, tighten, and lock with mechanical force you just can't match with cord or wire. No tools, no knots, just crank and hold. I keep 6 in my garage, 4 in my bug-out vehicle, and 2 in my main kit. Different lengths. All industrial strength. All tested. And I've traded one for gas once because someone's roof tarp was ripping loose in a storm. No bungee cord could save it. But a ratchet strap? Saved their supplies and bought me a fuel reserve. They weigh little. It costs almost nothing, but collapse puts them in the top tier of gear that disappears first. Why? Because they work, and every smart prepper knows it. So ask yourself, when the wind hits, when the truck shakes, when the door needs bracing, do you have rope? Or do you have something that won't let go? Because in collapse, the guy who secures everything secures his survival. Number 8, collapsible fabric utility tote. You've seen them at grocery stores, in car trunks, or maybe used one to carry laundry, but in a full-blown collapse. This simple fabric tote transforms into one of the most flexible and functional survival tools you can carry. Why? Because when the system's shut down and everything needs to be moved by hand, a quiet, reusable, heavy-duty tote becomes your lifeline. Let's get one thing straight. Collapse doesn't just mean fighting or hiding. It means carrying, constantly. Water from a stream, firewood to the shelter, gear from one safe house to the next. Scavenged food, barter supplies. Without a vehicle, without working carts, you become your own supply chain. And if you're counting on trash bags to do that job, good luck. They rip, they flap in the wind, they leak, and they make noise. Now think about a collapsible utility tote. Made from heavy-duty canvas or polyester, stitched for weight, designed to fold flat when not in use, but strong enough to carry 30, 40, even 60 pounds of real gear. You can throw one in your vehicle, your bug-out bag, or your closet, and forget it's there, until it becomes the most valuable item you've got. I've used them to carry solar panels, store dry kindling, collect wild edibles, and even fill with bottles of water when transport options were gone. And the best part? No noise. No plastic rustling in the wind, no tearing mid-mission, just low-profile hauling power that works over and over again. Collapse rewards the prepared, but it punishes the overburdened. One trip with a busted trash bag, and your supplies are scattered. One failed carry, and now your group's waiting while you try to salvage what's left. The guy with the tote? He's already moving again. He's already ahead. I keep 2 in my main kit. 1 packed flat in my go bag. 1 was preloaded in my truck. And I've bartered one before for tools and fire starter just because someone's pack straps tore and they needed to carry their food. 1 tote turned into 2 meals and a favor. So ask yourself, when the time comes to move gear, haul water, carry meds, or collect food, are you dragging plastic bags? Or do you have something that folds flat, works hard, and never slows you down? Because in collapse, the guy with the straps, the seams, the strength, that's the guy who carries more than weight. He carries the future. So now you know. It's not the loud, obvious gear that saves you when the world goes dark. It's the forgotten, overlooked tools, the tote bag, the nail clipper, the siphon pump that end up deciding who stays ahead and who gets left behind. But here's the real truth. Collapse doesn't send a warning. There's no siren, no headline, no final reminder. By the time most people react, it's already too late. They're scrambling. You're moving, and if you're still watching this, you're not like them. You don't wait for permission. You don't rely on comfort. You think ahead. You prepare smartly. And that makes you dangerous in the best possible way. So don't stop now. This channel isn't about fear. It's not about panic. It's about intel. About advantages. About making sure that when others freeze, you move first. Subscribe now. Not because we said so, but because your future self, the one facing chaos, cold, confusion, will thank you for every edge you stacked today. Because in the end, the ones who get ready before the headlines, they don't beg later, they lead.